Our verse today is Luke chapter 1, verse 58. And her neighbors and relatives heard that the Lord had shown great mercy to her, and they rejoiced with her. Many of us know the story of the birth of John the Baptist. His father Zechariah was a priest, and his mother Elizabeth was barren, and both were well advanced in age. For human beings, time runs out, but God can prove his power beyond our human comprehension. It was in their old age that God revealed his power to this couple. God sent an angel to Zechariah while he was performing his priestly function, telling him that his wife would conceive and bear a son. Zechariah doubted, and the angel told him that he would lose his power of speech until what he, the angel, had said came to pass. Zechariah regained his power of speech at the naming of John the Baptist, his son. Our verse comes within that context. Elizabeth has now given birth, and the neighbors and relatives came. When they heard the good news, they came to rejoice with her. Let us look at some important elements in our verse. Let us begin with what the neighbors and relatives heard and why they rejoiced with Elizabeth. God had shown Elizabeth mercy. What does this mean? Mercy, eleos in Greek, which often translates the Hebrew racham, also means compassion. That attitude and emotion roused by the affliction of another, moving someone to show sympathy and pity. When it refers to God, it reveals God's gracious action, showing his faithfulness and loving kindness towards his children. God showed Zechariah and Elizabeth his loving kindness and compassion when they no longer expected it, after many years when people may have mocked and laughed at them. The neighbors and relatives heard. The word for neighbor in Greek is the compound word perioikos, from the preposition peri, which means around or nearby, and oikos, which means house. Therefore, the neighbors were those living around their house. But the relative, sugenes in Greek, was a kinsman or a kinswoman, a countryman or a countrywoman, and that would include someone like Mary, who heard the news and had to travel far to rejoice with Elizabeth because she was her kinswoman. It is always good to rejoice with those celebrating God's goodness in their lives. Some neighbors may have come to confirm if the story they heard was true, but others came to rejoice. It is beyond the birth of the child that they came rejoicing. They rejoiced because God had shown the old couple mercy. Barrenness would have been seen as a lack of God's favor. God intervened in different cases of barrenness in the Bible. Often the barren woman or the couple pray and God responds miraculously, and in some cases through the mediation of an angel. You can read Genesis 21, 1-3, Genesis 25, 21-22, and Genesis 30, 22-23. The neighbors and relatives also rejoiced because of the unusual act of God. It was and still is unusual for one to give birth at old age, which is why the people were wondering what the child would turn out to be. God can turn our sorrows into joy when we least expect. So do not give up, no matter how things are today. God is still in control. Wait on him. Lord, today we remember and pray particularly for those women who are undergoing agony because they have not been able to conceive. Lord, please come to their aid and wipe away their tears. Amen. God bless you. Have a lovely day.